Hello and welcome to our online webinar called Back to School Essentials. My name is Jeanne Marie Bloty and I'm here with my teammate, business partner, and sister, Christina DeSimone. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Jeannie, and hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
We're so excited to bring you this information about how to ease into the school year with your doTERRA oils and products. So I hope you'll use this opportunity to get comfortable with your oils, because our hope is that today is going to be the beginning of a really stress-free journey for you. I know that, my kids are grown, but in the past, when they were in school, this was always a time of year where I just felt wound up, so crazy tight. For all I felt I needed to get done, and for my kids, because I know that they really, really wanted to not leave summer. So we kind of went into, back to school kicking and screaming. Since we've been using essential oils, I know that the energy has completely shifted and changed in our home. So our hope is that you are able to take advantage of that same sort of ease into this season and other seasons, for that matter, that we all move into, whether it's the holidays or spring or vacation or whatever, whatever brings your life into a period of stress. So we're going to share lots of different things with you during this time we have together. I do want to clearly state that using essential oils is not going to prevent, treat, or cure any diseases. The information that we're sharing tonight is never going to be a substitute for medical counseling. This is just suggesting that you use essential oils to help support symptoms that you may be experiencing during different times of the year. And in this particular case, it's helping you ease into, going back to school. So with that, I am going to move on. Let's get started. I'm sharing the next slide. Go ahead.
So welcome to our class. We are going to be sharing a ton of information on how doTERRA will help children of all ages thrive in their classrooms, as well as so much more. And this goes for adults, and this goes for teachers, and this goes for parents too. We always love sharing how doTERRA products can be used during each season, as this is often when people begin to recognize the multitude of ways to incorporate oils into their daily lives. We would also love for you to think about how you would answer some questions if we were sitting in person together. And it's up to you if you want to just mentally take a note of it, or if you want to grab a piece of paper and write down your answers to these questions. You might want to have paper with you anyway, because we're going to be giving a couple of recipes that you might want to copy down. So it might be good for you to have some paper with you. So just rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, or rate your child. How would you rate your child's health on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is optimal and 1 is obviously very poor? Okay. Give you a chance to do that or think about that. And if you have more than one child, you can do it for your children. And then if you could just write down just quickly why you gave that rating. Okay. And then if you could also just write down why you made a decision to attend our experience, or just, our webinar. Okay. And I just want to reiterate an idea that Jeannie presented earlier, that doTERRA essential oils and wellness supplements do not treat, cure, or prevent disease, but your lifestyle choices can help the body do what it does naturally, which is to heal itself and prevent, and even in some cases reverse, disease. Regular use of essential oils is one of several ways the body can be supported in this process. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Jeannie.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina. So, this is exciting. I'm going to do something a little different and change the screen for 1 second, because I have a video that I want you to watch. Sorry, I jumped to the next slide too soon. 1 second. I set this up so that I can easily share this video with you.
I can't hear it. Jeannie, we
Okay.
can't hear the video. Yeah.
I don't know why, but we can't hear it. And I'm wondering if it's because I have my headset in.
Possibly. Maybe take your headset out.
Okay, so I'm going to start it over and take my headset out. And if that doesn't work, then we'll just skip it.
Can you hear it from your headset?
I can.
Okay.
I can. So I'm going to take my headset out for this part, okay?
So when we talk about quality, it's not always about what testing you're doing. You have to look at the whole process and what that means collectively. And I believe that doTERRA does that better than anyone else.
I love this.
doTERRA is the best company in the industry right now. I mean, they're the leaders. I mean, there's no one that's really coming close to doing what they're doing. I haven't seen anything like it in my 20 years of being in this industry, of a company going to the lengths that they go to secure the best oil in the world.
doTERRA's commitment to quality starts well before the plants are even distilled. Through our co-impact sourcing, the CPTG process starts then. And then it goes through a 3-tiered testing process that starts with outside labs and finishes off inside the company here, and then continues on after the bottles are sold.
We do several layers of testing, including GCMS, optical rotation, specific gravity, refractive testing, carbon-14, probably more extensive than just about any lab out there.
I've been doing research with essential oils for about 15 years now. So I worked with a lot of oils and a lot of tests. And the one thing that I've noticed consistently is that unless you're starting with an oil that has a consistent quality, you're not going to get good results.
You know, a lot of our oils are used in aromatherapy or topical use. So we want to make sure that we do not only make a product that's effective, but it's also going to be safe. And that's why we do a thorough analysis to look at the composition to make sure that it is safe. But at the same time, we also go ahead and do skin irritation testing, which is also called as the RIP testing or repeat insult patch testing, to make sure that when you apply it on topically, it's not irritating to your skin.
To a wellness advocate, we always keep them in mind, and we talk about it in our training. And what matters is that the details matter. You know, quality is in the details, and so because we're so passionate and so detailed, we're sure not to miss those things that are going to make the difference between just an okay product and a great product.
We stand behind our quality processes because we have the most in-depth and knowledgeable staff. We have set the standard for what the quality process should be. The testing knowledge that is gained as well as passed on with each bottle is, you cannot measure.
One of the things that I've recognized about the quality of essential oils and the testing is that it's a dynamic environment. It's changing. And this is why it's so important that doTERRA leads the front, that doTERRA is developing and processing and coming up with new ways, new opportunities to prove out the quality of essential oils, and frankly, in a way that no other company is able to do. As we continue to grow, as we continue to expand throughout the world, I'm proud to say that doTERRA has made that commitment and will not waver or deviate from that.
Sorry. Take my car or wait.
Okay. So we are back. How was that? That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I've seen that video, and
Just a moment.
Great. Oh, can you not hear me?
I can, but the next slide started.
Well, we're on slide 4.
Yep, that's good.
Okay, cool.
Stop.
All right. Tell me when you're ready for me to
Ready for
start.
you now.
All right, great. I actually am really excited that I get to talk about this, is that I get to talk about their doTERRA's co-impact sourcing. So one of the reasons that I chose doTERRA over other oils is because of their co-impact sourcing. doTERRA sources its oils from all over the world so that each oil is derived from its indigenous environment. When they are grown and harvested in the proper altitude, climate, seasons, and soil, you end up with a far superior product. This is where doTERRA's commitment to purity begins. So to me, that means that it's being grown in the soil where it's supposed to be grown, where it's found in the earth. And if you're looking for that therapeutic benefit, this is where doTERRA exceeds their standards of any other oil company to me. Okay. The second main reason is that the oils are CPTG certified pure therapeutic grade. This is really important because every oil has zero fillers, synthetics, dyes, pesticides, or contaminants of any kind. They are just pure, unadulterated oils grown by experienced farmers in their indigenous lands. doTERRA created this standard promise of purity, and each and every batch is third-party tested, so you can be confident in not just their purity, but potency as well, each and every time you purchase a bottle. So the frankincense that you got, last year, it's going to be as potent as the frankincense you bought this year, because they make sure that each bottle has the same standard of purity in it. That's it, Jeannie.
Click. Okay. That's going to be fun, isn't it?
Okay. I'll do a little beep to go to the next slide.
Thank
exactly.
You. This is fun. We got to take our show on the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what I'm excited about is doTERRA. Well, a couple of different things. doTERRA makes such a positive impact in the world, and I really feel like it's kind of a big deal. So the first thing I want to talk about is their Healing Hands Foundation. It's doTERRA's nonprofit organization committed to improving lives throughout partnering with organizations that offer hope to millions around the world. Healing Hands seeks to bring healing and hope to the world and helping those people to live lives free of disease and poverty, and to ultimately empower impoverished communities with the tools needed to become self-reliant. They cover all the overhead and administrative costs. doTERRA covers those costs for all the Healing Hands projects that they donate to. So there are a ton of different articles and videos that we could share, and we kind of, we don't want to take too much time showing those throughout the whole presentation. But I will say this, two things. One is, I have personally participated in a Healing Hands organization project, and I'd like to just briefly share a little bit about that. So there's an organization in the world called Days for Girls, and it is, they're dedicated to sharing about the menstrual cycles in countries where young women are forced to go and hide, basically, and go into basically go into a hut or whatever. They can't participate in school, they can't be in their home when they're menstruating. So we worked on, by the way, if anybody isn't on mute, it would be great if they could mute themselves. Yeah, that would help a lot.
Yes, someone's not on mute. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
So we broke a Guinness Book of World Records record at convention 2 years ago by assembling kits that were being sent to countries all over the world where they don't have access to everyday things like sanitary napkins and running water to wash their panties, for real. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. And I was one of about 150 women who sat at these long tables, and we assembled kits of felt snap-on things that would kind of wrap around the crotch of a pair of underpants. And then there were different pieces of felt that would fit into two tabs. And it came with a little scraper thing where they could take it down to the water. And that was just one of so many. There's another organization called LETS, which stands for lunar tracking bracelets for women. And darn it, I can't think of what it stands for, but I know Christina can probably look that up for me. One of my teammates actually founded that organization, and they made bracelets with beads on them that go to, they bring these bracelets to, again, places like Haiti and really impoverished countries like, Guatemala and others. And they're teaching women and men both how to track their menstrual cycles and when they're fertile. So
It's
that,
Jeannie. It stands for Lunar Essential Tracker Bracelet.
thank you.
Yeah.
But it's Let's with an S
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't
end.
know.
So I'm not sure. But in any event, doTERRA has committed to donating, in both cases, literally like hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund that project to go into those countries. So when people ask me, you know, why do I choose doTERRA? That's another reason, because I don't know that there's other countries out there, or rather other companies out there, that are making that commitment to the world and to the environment and to the betterment of, literally the betterment of society. And by the way, the socioeconomic impact to those countries is literally so different, just because now those women can return to either school or to take care of their families, or to, if they are working in a field or, you know, harvesting or whatever their contribution is to their families, you know, process, they can get back to that more quickly because they either aren't having a baby, or they aren't, you know, in the middle of their menstrual cycle where they, you know, where they're literally banished to like this hut. And by the way, back to Let's, the whole point of that is because so many of these women in these countries are giving birth and literally can't keep their babies. And they are forced to hand their babies over to strangers who, it is believed, and it's kind of known, unfortunately, are bringing them into sex trafficking. And it's a nightmare. So the team member of mine that conceived of and founded Let's is doing this specifically to contribute to ending sex trafficking for youth and ultimately adults. But, you know, it's huge.
The bracelet serves to track the woman's cycle,
so that
she
knows,
can understand when she's fertile. And these people in these countries, they didn't even connect how they were even conceiving these children.
No, they had no idea. And their men don't either. So when our team goes into these countries, women and men alike come to be educated. So this is big. This is a big deal. And doTERRA has committed to funding literally hundreds of other organizations like those two organizations. Another one is called Operation Underground Railroad. I won't get into it, but if you have a chance, please look it up. It's our.org. But anyway, another commitment as to why I choose doTERRA is their commitment to co-impact sourcing. So in addition to supplying the highest quality essential oils, they are committed to making a positive difference in the lives of their farmers, harvesters, and distillers who contribute to doTERRA's oil production. And if you like, and you're interested in knowing more about that, I can share a video with you offline about that, because honestly, we do it in our oil camp, which is reserved for members. When you open your own wholesale account, or you're as a wholesale customer, we plug you into a fantastic education system, and we share these types of videos in there as well. So please make sure that you contact us if you want to see these videos. But if you haven't been introduced to Oil Camp yet and you are a wholesale customer, please let us know, and we'll make sure that you get introduced to that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Source to You, which is what this slide is talking about. So what Source to You is super amazing, because it's a website literally called sourcetoyou.com. And when you log into that, you can actually take your oil bottle, and I just pulled one out of my bag. This is myrrh oil. Remember frankincense and myrrh that was brought to the baby Jesus? This has a code on the back, and it also, when you go on to sourcetoyou.com, you're going to enter this code, and it's going to tell you all the chemical constituents of this exact oil. So when Christina mentioned, the thing about growing in the indigenous countries and the purity, this is another way to ensure that you know that this bottle of myrrh, or whatever bottle you're referring to, has the exact same chemical makeup, or, really all the therapeutic benefits that every single bottle before it and after it will have. And if there's ever a time when an oil doesn't meet their quality, purity, and sourcing standards, they will literally trash the whole batch and not sell it. And Christina and I can both attest to the fact that there have been periods of time when oils were not available for a little bit because of that. So
right, if they can't sustainably offer it, they're not going to offer it.
Exactly. So there are times when a plant becomes endangered and they know that they need to either seek another source, meaning a completely different species of plant, to replace that plant with the exact same therapeutic benefit. And that has been done as well with certain blends. So I don't know if that's getting a little bit too detailed, but it's really, really an important piece, because just like when you know, every person's body chemistry is different, and you're going to say use a medication and maybe sometimes it works in your body and sometimes it doesn't, and you need to go back to your doctor. The same can be said for an essential oil. So if you've come to know that a particular oil like On Guard or peppermint has a certain impact and benefit for your body, you want to darn well make sure that it's going to have that exact same benefit next time you get your hands on it, next time you buy another bottle. So I know I'm probably preaching to the choir when I say all this to you, because you've already opened your mind to using oils, but I want to continue to reinforce your decision. It's really what brings me so much joy in sharing what I know for you. And I know Christina feels the same way. I mean, we feel so confident in the changes that they've made for our bodies and our families that, that's why we're so dedicated to making sure that you have all the right information you need. So moving right along.
Are you ready for me? All right.
I'm ready for you.
We're talking about ways to use oils. So this is something that we would always cover in an Oils 101 class. There are 3 different ways that you would use oils. And the first one would be topically. So that's when you physically apply the oil somewhere on your body. You can apply them directly to the area of your body that needs support. And when you do that, they reach the bloodstream within 20 seconds and are then distributed throughout the body within 20 minutes. And what you can do, depending on which oils you're working with, you can dilute the oils in fractionated coconut oil to avoid skin sensitivity. And you always want to dilute when you are putting the oils on children. The bottoms of the feet are a great place to apply the oils because it's the most porous section of the skin, allowing for quick absorption. And you can also apply on the back of the neck or along the spine, or if you're applying an oil like peppermint or the Digestan blend to support an upset stomach, you could apply it directly to your stomach, or with reflux, you could apply it directly to your throat. So that's a way how you would apply it topically. Aromatically is you would just putting a drop in your hands and inhaling, making an inhaler, which we did at a make and take recently. We did that on our make and takes. We made inhalers. That's aromatically. But put it in the palm of your hands and inhale it into your face like that. Wow, it's a great way to get the oils. I have a diffuser going next to me. That's a great way to support respiratory functions and enhance moods. Another way that you can use the oils is internally. Personally, doTERRA is the only brand of oil I would trust to use internally. Please never assume it's okay to use any brand of oil internally, as purity varies greatly. If it's safe for consumption, a bottle is going to be clearly labeled with a supplement fact on it, okay? If it's approved for internal use. Once you are assured of quality, you can add 1 drop to your water, tea, or any cool beverage. And I like to use citrus oils for this. I put lemon or lime in my water, as it helps me drink my daily recommendation of water without adding calories or an artificial sweetener. So now we're going to start talking about doTERRA for the classroom. And I'm going to turn it over to Jeanne.
Hello, isn't that funny? The teacher's passing it over to me for this. Okay, so
I'll be back, don't worry.
Yeah, I know you will. That's funny. Okay, so oils in the classroom. Basically, this is kind of funny because I'm going to begin the discussion talking about a couple of different articles that doTERRA has published in their magazines and stuff that highlights how classrooms use essential oils to create a healthy and productive environment. So whether you're at a public school, or even if you know somebody that homeschools, I mean, to be honest, anybody that's homeschooling is really, really likely using oils. I can promise you that. So essential oils can have numerous benefits for the kids as well as for teachers. So in one of the articles, and by the way, again, I'm going to go back to saying the thing I said about the other videos. I'm not going to start sharing these articles on the screen or anything because there's just not going to be enough time for you to like literally read every word that I put up on the screen, but I'm going to describe one of the particular experiments that were done. There's a woman, her name was Jessa Johnson, and she's a doTERRA member and has 2 kids, and they attended a school in Colorado. And in 2014, Jessa donated a clean hands spray and diffusers with a bottle of On Guard to every classroom and every teacher. And the clean hands spray, by the way, is going to be described in an upcoming slide. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. But after noticing positive results, the majority of the school are now diffusing essential oils in every classroom because they started noticing in this, and my little outline that I wrote here today, every single number wasn't included, but almost every classroom is diffusing On Guard every single day. And one of the main differences they noticed at the end of the period of time that they did this experiment is the reduced number of absence for students and teachers. And out of 19 teachers, less than 14 leave days were used during the 2015-2016 school year, which was less than half of days used in prior years. So that's kind of a big deal. And that doesn't even talk about how many of the kids weren't out. But I know there are tons and tons of other articles out there that share that kind of information. And I can tell you that in terms of my own family, and I know that Christina could corroborate this, that I personally, before I started using oils, could count on myself having to use antibiotics at least 2 to 3 times a year when I wasn't using oils and when I was just going the conventional route in terms of like helping to support things like sinus infections or sore throats or, whatever, what they would call like sinusitis or tonsillitis or whatever. And now the beautiful thing is I haven't had to take antibiotics in all these years because I'm using essential oils. So I know how much that's impacted our lives. I will tell you that if you are interested in seeing the details on that experiment that was done in Colorado in 2015 and 2016, I'm happy to share that with you later. And I hope...
If you just joined us, if you could just hit mute on your screen, that would be great.
I got it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Lisa, I think that's you. You might have to hit mute. It's on the bottom. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It happens.
Not at all.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, so moving on to Christina.
Yes, so we are going to be talking about an experiment, but Jeannie, I just clicked the link and it's not working, so you're going to have to Google it up to get it to work on the screen. You're going to just put in if you put in the name of the article. And
you know what? I think we agreed that we were just going to sort of discuss what the articles say.
Oh,
and
perfect.
in this
Okay.
case,
Awesome.
what
I thought
it
you wanted
is,
to bring up the article. Okay.
I'm going to pass on that because I don't think that anybody's really going to be able to read it. But if anybody wants to see it, I think maybe what we can do is just share them in the closed Facebook group along with the video when we share it.
That's great. Okay.
So do you want to just go over the details in terms of how essential oils can improve focus and test scores in classroom behavior?
Perfect. So we had a 3rd grader who decided to do this, I guess, as a science experiment, who did an experiment if essential oils can improve test scores, classroom behavior, and focus. And she tested a couple of different combinations. She diffused peppermint with wild orange during the first week. Second week, she used rosemary with peppermint. And the 3rd week, she used citrus bliss. And at the end of each week, the teacher helped her average out their scores. And what happened was that the student, over the course of the study, most of the class felt less tired, was more alert, and the students had an easier time remembering answers and paying attention during lessons. So the class average for the math tests jumped from 83.5% to 93.1% by the end of the 2nd week. So the conclusion is that, and Fallon quoted, this is her quote, "My study shows that diffusing essential oils improves our class behavior. We were able to remember our answers and stay focused throughout the day." So that's one 3rd grader who was able to bring essential oils into her
A 3rd
classroom.
grader did that, right?
Right.
And
Yeah,
meanwhile, we have literally legions and legions of kids that would benefit from this, and you know, maybe they don't even know about essential oils, or maybe schools are like, oh, I don't know enough about it to bring it in. But you know, our goal is to help educators and districts and families learn how to do this, because even if you can't always bring it into the classroom, as a parent, you can help your child to, you know, use them in the morning before they leave, or to have a little inhaler or a little something that they can bring with them in their backpack or their lunchbox if it helps.
Or a roller bottle, or even
Right.
just the On Guard spray.
Right, which we're going to talk about in the next slide. So you're good, right?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. We can definitely, you know, we're going to share that article, and if you want to, maybe we'll start a conversation about it in the closed Facebook group, essentially. Sure. Okay, so now I love this picture, like, I don't know. But we're going to talk about how teachers and all people, you know, we're obviously focusing on back to school, but teachers are constantly looking for new and natural ways to keep germs at a minimum for kids and themselves. Like, they know that, you know, especially depending on the age of the kids you have, there's all kinds of kids out there who are like, you know, their fingers are in their ears, their noses, their God knows what else. I mean, I'm sure you see it all, right? So
fortunately, I'm with older kids.
Okay. But so
they can still be a little.
Now, what I love about
unsanitary.
This is, right, exactly. I mean, listen, I know adults who are doing that, and just, you know, any day that I'm driving in my car and I can see what's going on with grown-ups out there.
We don't need any more details.
Right. So anyway, what I love about this is it's talking about a do-it-yourself hand cleansing gel, which I love. You know, basically it's in place of a chemical laden hand sanitizer. But what I love about this is it uses On Guard. So number one, it's not killing all the good bacteria on your hands. It's not filled with chemicals, because as you know, your skin is your largest organ. So anything that you're putting on your skin, like that crazy hand sanitizer that you see literally at every cash register, lots of classrooms, lots of doctors' offices, they think they're doing you this big favor, but the more you use that, the more you're actually disturbing the natural balance of your body's ability to fight bacteria. So by using something natural, you're doing your body a favor. Sometimes we need to be exposed to a little bit of dirt and a little bit of germs, which we know, but we know that On Guard completely naturally and without danger to your body actually does eradicate the dangerous germs that are going to cause illness. So there's that. So I'm going to share a recipe with you to make your own do-it-yourself hand sanitizing gel, but I also want to remind you that in addition to this, you can actually buy doTERRA's hand sanitizing mist, and it is amazing stuff. It's small. It's easy for kids to carry with them, and I happen to have it right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, because I can't see my own picture, but if you look at your screen and you can see it, it's here. Can you see it, Christina? Okay, good.
I can see it.
I'm showing it, and there's going to be like a little thumbnail where you can see it. I'm not sure what's going to actually end up being showing once we finish with this recording, but I love that. But if you're somebody who loves to do it yourself gifts for teachers or scout leaders or religious teachers, or your garbage men or whatever.
Ooh, this would be a great gift for a garbage man.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So I just want to tell you what you're going to need. So if you want to make this yourself, you need 5 tablespoons of aloe vera gel, 4 tablespoons of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin E oil, 8 to 10 drops of On Guard protective blend, and a small squeeze container, which you can literally buy in Harmon's if you're in New Jersey, or I think anywhere like Dwayne Reed, or you can easily get this kind of thing on Amazon. You're going to use probably like a 4-ounce container, like a squeezy. And I want to note that typically you're not going to want to use any oils that have citrus in them in a plastic container. But because On Guard is a blend, so the only citrus in there is wild orange, and it's really minute in that blend, but also because this oil is so highly diluted when you're making it, it's not going to have any issue if you're using a plastic or like silicone squeeze container. Because I just want to clarify that, because there will be other times when you hear us say that you don't want to use citrus oils in plastic. So what you're going to do is just in a bowl, combine those aloe vera gel and vitamin E oil, add your On Guard protective blend to the aloe vera mixture, and then add water and combine. And then you want to just change the consistency, you know, add the water a little bit at a time so that you know the consistency that you want, and pour it into the container. That's it. That's it. And you have this beautiful thing, tie a little red ribbon around it, maybe write a little note with the recipe so that the recipient knows what's in it. But, as I said, you can rest easy at night knowing that your child using this is safe and it's effective. Like I, for one, can recall a time when one of my kids got hand sanitizing gel in their eye. The burning and carrying on that was going on that time, it was unbelievable, number one. And number two, I worried so much about the chemicals being in the eye. Now, essential oils, you don't want to get in your eye. You don't. It's an oil.
They also will burn.
It'll
hurt
burn a little bit.
Yes.
They're not chemical. They're not going to hurt you. None of these ingredients are going to harm your body in any way. So that's kind of a big deal. And the same goes for this hand sanitizer spray that they sell. So it does matter. You don't, how many of you are having your kids put that stuff on and then maybe they put their hands in their mouth or they go to eat their lunch or they're sucking their thumb or whatever. I don't know how old they are, but either way, I mean, no comment, and no judgment because we just don't know. But this is just, not to mention, it's just a really fun, hands-on, safe thing that you can do with your kids to discuss the value of keeping the right kind of bacteria away and protecting your body from negative strains of bacteria. And it's a really nice kind of, parent-child bonding experience that you can have like a safety conversation with, but it's a really nice gift to give to your teachers or any extracurricular instructors.
And right, my kids went through a phase where they wanted all the fancy pocket bags from a famous bath store, and I couldn't stand all the synthetic fragrances that are so harmful. So something like this that they can make themselves and put, decorate the bottle however they want, it's just, and it empowers them to still, keep their hands sanitary and not bring in any of the harmful chemicals that are going to kill the good bacteria and also introduce all those synthetic fragrances, which are terrible.
Exactly. Okay. So.
All right. Thanks, Jeannie. So are we ready to move on?
We are.
All right. So, oh gosh, getting our children up in the morning. This is always a lovely, lovely thing, especially when you are dealing with switching over from the summer schedule. This is the week we're supposed to be like setting them back. I don't know how successful everybody's been. We have not been successful. Next week's going to be a bear. But many times I'm talking with parents about strategies to help wake up their children in the morning to avoid being late for school or just to avoid the stress of having to rush and think you're going to miss a bus or, miss a ride or something. So I have a protocol that I recommend for parents to either diffuse or apply topically on pulse points, the bottoms of the feet or the back of the neck. And it's called Energize Your Morning. And it consists of the following doTERRA protocol. You combine the Citrus Bliss blend, which is, it smells like a creamsicle. It's like orange and vanilla. The Elevation blend, which is also has a lot of citrus oils in it. Balance, which is the grounding blend. Peppermint, wild orange, and On Guard, which is we've been discussing, the protective blend. And I love what I refer to as the Get Out of Bed blend, consisting just of peppermint and wild orange. You could put it in a roll-on bottle and gently roll it on their wrists on their back to wake them up to get ready for the day. So that's a good way to get them up, and diffusing it, it might help the early morning crankies. So,
okay, thank you. So also important to note, and look, I'm speaking from experience when I say that when my kids were a lot younger, their diet wasn't always optimal. I didn't know then what I know now. So I really do, as a coach, try to educate parents about the importance of healthy choices and habits for their kids. Because no matter how healthy they eat, unfortunately, we're all kind of learning that it's just not enough. Our soil, even if we're eating organically, is so tainted that foods don't have the exact same nutritional value that they did many years ago, which is why I recommend for every human to have a daily supplement regimen that's specifically designed for their wellness. In this case, we're talking about kids. So these supplements, doTERRA's A to Z chewables and their IQ Mega, are designed specifically for children to give them all the whole food derived nutrients they need, as well as the omega-3s that are vital to their brain growth and health. So the A to Z chewables are a proprietary formula of ingredients developed with children and adults who have difficulty swallowing capsules in mind. Now, I have personally taken this, and it is quite tasty. It is natural watermelon flavor, but it's really kind of tasty. And then the IQ Mega is a liquid fish oil that actually takes the fishy taste out, and it has a fresh orange flavor of wild orange, and it is certified pure therapeutic grade. So it's really not bad. I mean, I know anybody that hears like, oh my God, it's a liquid fish oil, I'm not going to take it. But I happen to know of a lot of people who use it either right off the spoon, or they mix it into like either their child's like morning smoothie or their oatmeal or their yogurt or applesauce. So that's another, great way to incorporate it. But it's great tasting, easy to swallow, and it provides 1,000 milligrams of concentrated omega-3 fatty acids. So not pictured here also is the well-known and most loved PB Assist probiotic, which we're going to talk about later, but a little bit more. But I do want to say that it's really designed for kids of all ages. And they're individual sachets that are not only delicious, they contain 5 billion CFUs of pre and probiotics.
And kids take them like a pixie stick. I just want to say that.
Right. No,
so it's easy for them.
I didn't get there yet because we're going to talk about that at the next slide or at another future slide. But what I wanted to say is we know that gut health is so important and is the key to overall wellness. So it's an important component of foundational health. So while we're talking about filling nutritional gaps and making sure that we get the brain food, like the omegas for our focus and attention and mood, we also want to make sure that we, really just mention, kind of like quietly, the PB Assist. And what's important to note is that they're not full of sugar and junk like so many mainstream kids' vitamins are. The ones you see in the store, like the gummies and other types of chewables, usually have lots of cane syrup or agave syrup or brown rice syrup, and those may be healthier than straight up sugar and high fructose corn syrup, but they're still triggering your child's glycemic index. So you really want to stay away from that, which is why I recommend these. So moving on.
Great. Yes. So we are going to be talking about being proactive with supporting health. So that can become a family activity. Kids of all ages love to be active participants in their own wellness and are excited about these sort of projects. So remember that any recipe that we're including is the top 10 oils, which if you already have, if you bought the Home Essentials kit or something like that, you should have all these oils already. And we have other oils that exist like the kids collection, but if you have these oils and want to make good use of them, these are our recipe go-tos, okay, for pretty much any symptoms year round. So I'm going to mention a 10 milliliter bottle immune blend, just utilizing 10 drops of frankincense, 10 drops of melaleuca or tea tree, and 10 drops of lemon, 10 drops of On Guard in a 10 milliliter roller bottle. And then you would top it off with fractionated coconut oil and apply to the bottoms of the feet and the thymus gland. And if you begin to show symptoms of illness, you could make a new roller bottle and add 10 drops of oregano to boost the antibiotic benefits of the oils as well. And I think at some point when we do post this video, I'll include a link to all the recipes that I mentioned. Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, so here we go. Here's our PB Assist. So, this is so funny. What do your children want to be when they grow up? I love that. So you're thinking about that. We're still waiting in our house too. So while you're thinking about it, keep reading because your kids will love how doTERRA oils and products make them feel. The immune system benefits of doTERRA's A to Z vitamins and PB Assist Junior are immeasurable when they begin to experience wellness in a different way than before. And we're not just talking about the absence of illness. We're talking about better mood, better sleep, better focus, and better appetite. Because as they begin to not get sick, not catch every little sniffle, germ, or virus that's going around, they're going to feel better. They're going to sleep better. They're going to stress less. They're just going to be in a better mood. So as they begin to feel all around healthier, they're going to start making better choices. And that's going to result in serious just, you know, mood lift for them and for you. Things are just going to get easier. And I know that sounds like a little bit of a ridiculous statement. Like, oh yeah, I know everything's going to be perfect when I start giving my kids supplements. But like, if they're taking the right things and their bodies begin to get balanced, things really, you know, mood and everything is just a simple cascade effect. So it's absolutely possible if they begin to have the right kind of structure in their foundational health. So we already went over the details about A to Z chewables in the other slide, but I want to talk again for a second just about the fact that that the PB Assist, again, I think I mentioned, it has 5 billion live cells of a unique blend of 6 different probiotic strains that are specifically selected for their benefits for children. So, you know, I don't know, you know, if your child's already taking a probiotic, which one it is or why, but even if they're a bigger child, they still have a different development level in their gut. Just because they may be physically larger or developing in a different way than another child, depending on their age, it doesn't matter. They need, you know, that part of their body is still developing at the right chronological age. It doesn't matter that they're, you know, in terms of their size or their development stage. So having the PB Assist and that type of probiotic that's designed specifically for a child is important. Those strains are important. So,
Okay.
And now we're going to talk about
overstimulation. So our children tend to be overstimulated due to the many activities and distractions that constantly exist in their lives. Parents can help kids focus with ideas like make sure they eat breakfast, make sure they're packed the night before for school, make time for play and physical activities, be social, obviously use specific essential oils, and the perfect doTERRA oils to support your children with staying focused include Intune, rosemary, lemongrass, peppermint, clary sage, vetiver, and lemon. And parents should either diffuse or apply topically on pulse points, the bottoms of the feet, or the back of the neck. And I just want to add that I recently put rosemary in the diffuser because I was really having trouble getting myself motivated to exercise. I was trying to do yoga, and my Beachbody coach is here, so hello. And I was having a really hard time, and I'm like, you know what? Let me put some rosemary, and it'll help me focus on my yoga practice. So for me as an adult, rosemary is awesome too. And that was today. I had some rosemary going. All right. So I am ready for the next slide, Jeannie.
Click.
Okay, here we are. You know, you want to be nice to your children's teachers, and being a teacher myself, I can tell you it is no joke. Being in front of 20 children or more each day and having to manage the personalities, the learning skills, the curriculum, the parents, the administration is really, really challenging. And doTERRA's Serenity Restful Blend is the perfect gift for your child's teacher. In situations where they feel, when they feel stressed out and they're bringing the stress of the day home with them, they can add this little secret oil to their bathtub, diffuse it in their bedroom before bedtime, apply it to their back, feet, or on diffuser jewelry before school. So while you're getting Serenity for your child's teacher, or making, this is something too, if you want to make like a bath salts project for them for a holiday, that would be a perfect thing to add. Pick one up for yourself, as it will promote healthy sleep and relaxation for you and your entire family. This is a must-have in your oil box.
Yes, ma'am, it is. And can I also just say that as a teacher, I know you do this, and I just had a conversation today with a teacher at my home, and she's kind of new to oils, and we talked about how sometimes you're not able to use a diffuser in the classroom, but you are able to be a personal diffuser. And Serenity is a nice oil to start your day with.
It's the restful blend. Even though it's the restful blend, it's not gonna.
It doesn't mean you're gonna fall asleep at your desk. I mean, if you're laying in your bed and you want to put it on your feet, and it's gonna help to support you in your effort to get to a more restful sleep. But by the same token, if you're going into a classroom, it's amazing because you can be a personal diffuser. Put it on the fabric of the back of your collar or on the wrists of your sweater, or if you have a blouse on it, it has a collar, or if you're wearing an aromatherapy bracelet like this one that I have on, you can do that too. We both have them, and I know lots of people do, but it's a great way to sort of calm the room down. And they don't even know. They don't even realize it, or you could use Serenity and put it into cotton balls and leave it in your desk or in corners of the classroom if you're able to, so that it'll smell. But anyway, and I know that teachers, I have lots of teachers as customers, and they do love that. So great idea.
And different schools have different policies. I'll say that as far as
so lots of schools do let you use. I happen to know lots of schools that do let you use a diffuser in the classroom. So that would be really nice too. I mean, that's always going to be our first choice, because then every person in the room is getting the benefit of it.
Right.
So, whoops, I don't know what just happened. Okay.
You're up.
Oh, we're moving on to something really important called sleep. And we know, and I see a lot of this for not just kids, but adults as well. So again, not coming from a place of judgment at all, but everybody's overstimulated. And with the exposure to electronic screens and, just our constant instant gratification of like videos and video games and YouTube and all of it, it's important to ensure that your child isn't overtired, or it's going to impact their ability to perform in the classroom. So I have a couple of suggestions for sort of creating a better routine at bedtime. And that is to try to limit their electronics, whether it's their device or video games or computer or whatever, for about at least 60 minutes before bedtime, and try to have a consistent bedtime routine. Make sure that, right before bed, they can, maybe put their device away and like read a book, or, do their bathroom stuff, brush their teeth, have a sip of water, calculate 8 to 10 resting hours so that they can get into bed with enough time to have that. And also make sure that they get enough movement during the day, not just, walking to the bus stop and walking home, but also if they're not, somebody who participates in activities, take them with you on your errands after school or whatever, so that they're walking around and getting a little bit of movement, because unfortunately a lot of kids aren't. And I think that's hurting them when they need to sleep. And then also proper nutrition is important. You want to limit sugar and get rid of junk food. And that's a no-brainer. I mean, I know that's everyone's quest. And, again, I know how hard it is. I'm not, as a health coach and a mom, I know how hard it is. So I have that conversation literally several times a day, outside my home and then inside my home, when we talk about our own meals. So
yes, everyone would benefit from
right.
These recommendations.
It's just right. I'm just saying, like, again, coming from just here's some information that you can put to use if you're interested, and they're all great. So my favorite oils to support kids when it comes to bedtime are lavender oil, which is like, everyone knows worldwide pretty much that lavender oil is really popular for sleep. Lots of people sprinkle it on their pillow. But again, I'm going to go back to an important note, and that is you want to make sure that the oils that you're using at bedtime or anytime are certified pure therapeutic grade. And obviously we're talking tonight specifically about doTERRA, because if you're putting an oil on your kid's pillow and that's all they're doing is breathing it in all night long off their pillow, or maybe you put it on on their wrists or their hands and they're sniffing it. Think about that. That's going in and out of their lungs. So you want to make sure that it's going to be something that's actually healthy for their body, and not just like an air freshener thing, or like another, lavender oil that came with a diffuser that you bought at Best Buy or Harmon's or wherever. And you just want to make sure that it's pure and free of chemicals. And then another oil that I love is vetiver. Vetiver is amazing. We like to use it to stop monkey mind when you're laying down to go to bed. I know as an adult that lots of times when I lay down to go to sleep, my brain's like going a mile a minute on all the things I have to do, or that I forgot to do today, or that I did today but I know I did it wrong, or that I need to do tomorrow. And by putting vetiver on your big toe, which is the reflexology point for your brain, it literally stops the chatter in your brain, which I love. And marjoram, which is an interesting one, because most people don't go for marjoram right away for that, but it's really incredibly soothing. It has a really kind of an herbaceous aroma, but it mixes beautifully with those others. And And it calms the central nervous system. So it's not just stopping the chatter in your brain, but it's just relaxing the muscles in the body. So if anybody has any restless legs or they have growing pains or anything like that, marjorum's a really nice thing to add into bedtime. And then there's the Serenity Restful Blend, which I just can't say enough about. I use it every single day on my aromatherapy bracelet, but I also use it on my feet at night when I go to bed. So anyway, I think between the routine tips and these oils, you guys are going to see a huge difference in your bedtime routine. And I highly recommend all of those oils. So with that, moving on.
Right. I just want to remind everyone they should, if you joined us, just if you could click the little microphone to put yourself on mute, that would be really helpful. Not that little dog doesn't sound adorable, but thank you. Sorry, Erica. Okay. So now we're going to be talking about feelings of nervousness and a really supportive oil to help you with that. So I highly recommend using Cedar Wood to keep feelings of nervousness under control. This is a wonderfully calming oil and is also great if your child is agitated or upset. It's a wonderful oil to have in your home if you have a child prone to drama or tantrums. Does anyone have a child who's not prone to drama or tantrums at some point?
No comment.
Please don't brag. It's also great if you're looking for a relaxing oil that doesn't have a flowery fragrance. Like a lot of people's go-to is lavender, but some people might think that that's too, I didn't want to use the word like girly, but but it's a very flowery smell. But cedar wood actually is the base of many male colognes. So I
happen to love it, by the way. I just want to say, because if anybody's like wondering, cedar wood, think about like cedar chips or walking into a cedar closet. I mean, it literally smells like a cedar closet. It's awesome. It smells like you just walked into a cedar closet. Sorry, go on.
No, that's fine. And if you think about it, like a lot of all the oils that come from trees are grounding, because think about it. Where are trees? In the ground. They are literally grounded. So it's a very calming, grounding oil. And I love this oil for sleep, to put, sometimes when I just can't turn off my brain. And this is also one that they use to diffuse in spas. But did you know that when applied topically, it can help relax and soothe the body? So you can dilute a few drops of cedarwood essential oil and rub the oil behind your own ears or your child's ears before, during, or after school activities to promote a sense of relaxation. And extra bonus, it also is a great insect repellent. Yes. I personally have used cedarwood oil in a roller bottle that I've combined with wild orange and vetiver and called the blend Stop the Chatter. And my daughter brings it to school with her and has it in her bag, and she actually shares it with her friends and things like that. And right now, bye, she's leaving now. Have a good night. Okay, that same daughter is leaving. But yeah, so that's a great
and can I hop into that? Because I don't think we really go over vetiver much during this, other than for sleep. But I also want to say that it happens to be an oil that's widely used for kids that are, let's say, a little bit disruptive in school and they have trouble. And sometimes they even get called out of the classroom or have to take special pills during the day to help calm them down. I'm not really allowed to use any disease names, but I will say that vetiver is really, really effective in calming those kids by applying it up the spine before school and even at bedtime. It's interesting because it doesn't make them sleepy when they're in school, but it does help to sort of zero in on, the areas of the brain that need to focus in school. And it also stops the chatter at bedtime.
It stops the chatter. It stops those crazy racing thoughts.
Right. Or being so distractible, maybe, is a good way to put it, like when you're in the classroom. Right. So anyway, I kind of wanted to interject that because I know this slide is for cedarwood, but vetiver is really, really, really supportive oil for those, for that particular type of kid. So was that all, Christina, or can I move on to the next? Yes? Okay, I can't hear you anymore, just so you know. Okay, we're moving on to something really supportive called DDR Prime. And this is an oil that is a proprietary blend of essential oils that support healthy cellular integrity. Now, when we discuss cellular issues, and that does come up a lot in my conversations, we're talking about serious conditions where irregular cells multiply and require major medical attention. So I want to, okay, I'm getting a note that someone can't hear me, but I will say that I can hear you now, but I wasn't able to hear you, Christina. So let me just check. Okay, neither of us are muted.
Yeah, I just got, no,
okay,
but everybody else was just able to hear you?
Yep, I believe
you dropped
so.
out for me.
Okay, so in any event, okay, I'll start over just in case, okay? This slide is about DDR Prime, and DDR Prime is a proprietary blend of oils, but I was starting to say that when we talk about cellular integrity and cellular support, when we talk about our supplements and certain oils, and every oil gets all the way into all your cells when you put them even just on the bottom of your feet. But we're talking about serious conditions here when we're talking about DDR Prime, because it can go into your body. When we're talking about using it for kids, we're talking about just really supporting, sort of detoxifying their bodies and supporting cellular integrity. But for overall use for all humans, I feel it's really important for you to know that it's a highly valued oil because of its ability to encourage apoptosis, which is planned cell death of irregular cells. Now, we want that. If you have an irregular cell in your body, you want it to detoxify and exit your body. So when you use an oil like DDR Prime, you can actually know that when it encourages apoptosis, it's helping to destroy irregular cells, but it's helping to proliferate and rebuild healthy cells. So what's cool about that is that healthy cells are going to continue to multiply, and you're preventing illness, you're preventing germs, you're taking care of the positive cells in your body while eliminating the negative cells in your body, okay? So this blend includes clove, thyme, and wild orange, as well as frankincense, lemongrass, summer savory, and neoli, which are 2 oils for us, summer savory and neoli, that you cannot purchase separately.
I'm smelling it right now.
So what's important about it is that you can use it massaging it up your spine, or you can add it to like citrus drinks, teas, or water to consume daily to protect the body and your cells from oxidative stress. Now, I guess when kids are, children aren't really worrying about oxidative stress like we as adults do and should because of aging. But I know that we are all aware that more and more we're hearing about kids getting sick. And I'm talking about like real sick, like real serious illnesses, and things like autoimmune illnesses like skin conditions and celiac and really, really just a lot of struggle, a lot of physical struggles. So this is a kind of oil that can actually help to support the body on a very, very deep cellular level. It pairs well with fractionated coconut oil. So like, let's say your child just comes out of the bathtub or the shower, and you have a little bit of like solid coconut oil on your hand. Put a drop of DDR Prime in your hands and massage it up their spine before bedtime. It's just a lovely way to support their body. And it's, you know what, having a moment of like touch with your child of like really, any age is kind of lovely. I mean, how often are we just like super busy and we don't really have that time? So it's a nice bonding moment as well at bedtime, but also it provides important antioxidant benefits, which I mentioned. So again, I just want to state over again that these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, where we know we have studies that are showing that this combination of oils supports the body and its ability to fight oxidative stress. But we also know this is an easy way to do that. You know, we don't have to, you know, we don't have to really keep beating that horse for sure. So moving along.
Yes. So one of the things that comes up, because people know that I use essential oils, is how we can support children when seasons change and leaving their immune systems compromised. My answer is always to have oils diffusing in the home due to many benefits. I personally don't go one single day without my diffusers running throughout my home. And when my kids were younger, they would participate in choosing the oils that were diffused, and now actually they still do. We just are always, you know, picking what we like. And why not support the positive energy while improving strength and immunity? And I'm going to mention a great diffuser blend of just, this is a great seasonal blend. If you're reacting to the seasons changing, some people might call it allergies. But we're just going to say seasonal. Oh, did I say allergies? I meant seasonal support. So you can try this wonderful blend, which is 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of peppermint. And this would be something to support that. And actually, that's the exact blend that's in the Tri-Ease supplements to support seasonal, you know,
just about
issues.
to say that, which is wonderful. So we know there are people out there that have managed to replace their you know, their over-the-counter or prescription medications with Tri-Ease, which is lemon, lavender, and peppermint oils. They act as a natural antihistamine in the body. So that's great. Thanks, Christina. Did you have anything else to add?
Nope, that's it.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. Okay. So I love this. I'm so excited. And I love this little picture, even though it doesn't look like the one that I made at my last make and take. But this is such a fun and easy make and take. So these ingredients are readily available on Amazon. I've made a lip balm with a large group at my home, only we use those adorable little
like
chapstick type things, which was really hard to get the liquid into. So it would be a lot easier to have done it like this. But we also made a soothing hand salve that we used, and we used tins like this. But you can get this stuff on Amazon, and it's super easy. It's just using 1/2 ounce of beeswax, 1/2 ounce of coconut oil, 1/4 ounce of shea butter, 1/4 ounce of cocoa butter, and 30 drops of wild orange essential oil. So we're talking ounces here, not cups. And you want to use a scale, but you can. I should have done this beforehand, and I did it when I made the recipe, and I can't remember what it was, but there is a conversion of ounces to measurements in a different way. You know, like we know
to grams, maybe,
right? To grams, because 4 ounces is 1/4 cup, so 1/2 ounce is a lot less. You know what I mean? Than 4 ounces is 1/4 cup. So 1/2 ounce is a tiny amount. So you're using like tablespoons here.
Well, this is where it's great to just go to a make and take.
Right. Come to our house and do it with us.
Next time we have a make and take, just come. It's so easy to
The last thing you're going to add is a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And then you're going to place everything but the wild orange oil into a glass measuring cup or bowl. Fill a saucepan with a couple of inches of water and bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, you're going to place the glass measuring cup in the center of the saucepan, stir it until it melts, and once it melts, let it sit for like 2 minutes, add the vanilla and the wild orange essential oil, and then you're going to pour it into lip balm containers and let it cool, and then it's going to harden. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. Like, unless it boils again, it's never going to liquefy or anything. And this is a really nice natural way to, have a nice lip balm on. You want to be careful, because if you're going to be using it in the summer and exposed to the sun, you might want to use a little bit of a different oil, like maybe 1 drop of the wild orange and then 1 drop of peppermint or something, which I actually, or rather 15 and 15, just so that it's, so that it's less and you're not going to worry about the citrus being exposed. But this is such a nice recipe. And another nice thing for you to give to your teacher when you give them that hand balm. I mean,
I was thinking that too. This would be a great holiday gift.
Yeah, awesome, and super easy. So anyway, okay.
I am again going to talk about being really nice to your child's teacher. It's just a coincidence that I happen to be a teacher and I keep bringing this up, but this is another awesome idea for any holiday or just any day. it's inexpensive, and teachers do appreciate the real deal when they receive anything homemade using doTERRA oils. I know I appreciate that. So again, we are talking about earning brownie points for your child and yourself with your teacher by giving the gift of essential oils. Anyway, it'll help your child thrive at school if their teacher is feeling good, right? So this is the Vibrant Teacher blend in a roller ball, okay? 2 drops of wild orange, 2 drops of grapefruit, 2 drops of bergamot, 2 drops of clary sage, and 2 drops of frankincense in a 10 milliliter bottle. And then you would fill the rest up with the fractionated coconut oil. And that's a really great blend to give to a teacher. And you can write out a pretty little label that says Vibrant Teacher Blend. And, you know, it'll help give them the energy and help your child's teacher be in a really good mood every time they use it. And we want that too.
Awesome. We absolutely do. I mean, listen, I have to say, and I know we're at that time of year where everyone's like posting who their kids' teachers are, like on social media. And some parents are like, oh my God, I hated that teacher or whatever. But I will say, number one, it's just nice to sort of like try to cultivate a relationship with a teacher, but also it's nice if your kid is struggling with a teacher to make them a personal diffuser in addition to giving your teacher a gift. But we're talking to each other as adults here, and how Christina, how you can make yourself a personal diffuser, and how I spoke that way with a teacher today. But let's face it, if there is a teacher that isn't getting along with your kid and they're not using essential oils themselves, make your child the diffuser. Put it on their sweater, put it on their aromatherapy bracelet, and stick a little cotton ball in their backpack so they smell great. And when the teacher smells them, they're going to be like, what's different? I'm telling you, it works. It does. I swear. I swear. Okay. Yes. Don't start singing. Are we moving right along? And now I'm going to share some amazing recipes with you. Or I
thought I was doing the slide, but
you go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead and you have this one.
Oh, thank you. So these are some great diffuser recipes. The first one's called Serene Students, and that would be 3 drops of ylang ylang, 3 drops of tangerine, and 2 drops of cedar wood, which we talked about a lot. So that's a Serene Student. Oh, homework helper. That is 3 drops of Intune, which is the focus blend, 2 drops of vetiver, which we also talked about, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of cedar wood. And I know we're running out of time, but like when I read the emotions book about what lemon does emotionally, and like that it really helps to combat those feelings of feeling defeated, like you're not smart enough, I think it should be diffused every time anybody's doing anything for homework or a project or something like that.
Love it.
It's wonderful.
Awesome.
Get your smarty pants on. 4 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of rosemary, 4 drops of tangerine. And then be a genius. 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of tangerine. And bring on the homework. 3 drops of rosemary, 3 drops of lemon, 2 drops of peppermint. I'm wondering if you guys have a thought of what you're going to try first. I feel like I like the bring on the homework, the last one, the rosemary, the lemon, and the peppermint is probably as an amazing blend. Yes.
I love Be a Genius, and I'll tell you why, because I love that for energy too. That zings me awake. I had a little,
and that's peppermint, frankincense, and tangerine.
Right. I mean, I call that zoom zoom for me. Like that just gives me energy in the middle of the day, and I love that. So anyway, all right, we're going back, and we're gonna talk about making over your backpack. So we already went over the details about IQ Mega, which is flavored with wild orange oil, and I want to just remind you that the omegas are actually fantastic for supporting a healthy brain, your cardiovascular, and your joint functions. And
I've also seen some recipes recently for a throat spray to combine it with other oils and make it into a throat spray with the omega. I'm going to try that out.
Okay, that's cool. And then the A to Z chewables, which we already talked about, they're easy to chew. Strawberry, they're not strawberry flavored, they're watermelon flavored. I don't know why that says strawberry. Flavored A to Z chewables are a great way for your children to get their daily nutrition And that's just amazing. I can't say enough about how they're getting 12 servings of vegetables in that delicious chewable. Seriously, everyone should be doing that. And then I want to give you an idea for a wild orange sun butter or almond butter sandwich, which is kind of nice. It's just a fantastic, healthy recipe that'll change things up and give, give you another idea. It's using organic almond or sun butter, fresh banana slices, wild orange essential oil, and either rice cakes or gluten-free bread or whatever bread you choose is fine. And you're just going to mix a drop of essential oil into a couple of tablespoons of the nut butter or the sun butter that you choose, and smooth it out on the bread, and then put the banana slices on and close your sandwich, and you have like a really different flavor for your sandwich. And then another thing that I share at all of my gatherings is the On Guard apples, which everybody really, really loves. And they're always like, oh my God, I have to remember to make this for my kids, but I don't know whether they do or not. But it's so simple. Just taking a crisp fall apple like a Pink Lady or a Fuji and slicing it kind of thin, but not like paper thin. You don't want it to be like, flimsy. Set the slices into a glass or metal bowl where you can fill it with cold water and cover it enough to cover the apples, and add a few ice cubes to keep the water nice and cold, and then just drop like 3 or 4 drops of On Guard into the water, swish it around, and stick it in the fridge for either 15 minutes. I mean, you could potentially leave it there overnight if you want, but you don't have to. And it really even keeps the apples from turning because of the oils in it, which is lovely. But what happens is if you drain it and just put it into their little lunch bags for lunchtime, it's actually giving the kids an immune boost. So whether they take it to school or they have it after school or whatever, it's amazing. And then the other thing that I love is to give them the thing that we already talked about earlier, which was the hand sanitizer gel. So now we know that you can make that hand sanitizer gel, which we talked about earlier, or you can use the On Guard hand sanitizer gel, which I'm showing right now in my tiny thumbnail. And you can put that in their backpack, or you can do that little project with your kids and make the hand sanitizer gel and put that in their backpack for them. But you want them to know that they have something safe that they can use on their hands, and that it's okay to have on their hands several times a day, unlike the other chemical stuff. And then you want to make sure that they use their Intune peppermint or wild orange oils when they leave in the morning. And then to use an oil, did we talk about balance at all? It's an amazing oil. It's super, super grounding. So if your kid is leaving for school in the morning, no matter what their age, even I'm talking about even college kids, if they're really, really feeling stressed, and you pull out that balance oil, I'm pulling it out right now because I love it so much. They literally could put a drop on their wrist or just smell it from the bottle, and it is going to take down a meltdown so quickly that I'm telling you, it's worth its weight in gold. It's all I'm going to say. Whether you make it into an inhaler or you give them a tiny bottle that they can smell or whatever, or put it in a roller and have them put it on their feet if they feel stressed at school, or if there's somebody who does tend to get anxious or whatever.
Or they can even put it on their wrists too.
Everyone should have balance. It's great. So I happen to love that. So those are just some great ideas and ways that you can incorporate oils into their life, because, by the way, On Guard and Wild Orange are so super antiviral that adding it to any recipe is going to help to support your kids' immunity. I mean, that's it. And by the way, you're putting On Guard on their feet every single day before school so that they don't get sick during school. You're all using that every day. You're all diffusing On Guard whenever, and especially at night when they're going to sleep with their lavender oil. So anyway.
Or Cedar Wood. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. So we just want to remind you, as parents, as humans, that essential oils are not new or novel. They've been in existence for thousands of years. And we know that, historically, what was brought to the baby Jesus was frankincense and myrrh, which were most likely in essential oil form. Essential oils contain constituents that will be recognized by our body systems and handled appropriately. And rest assured that if you use essential oils on your children, you're not reinventing the wheel. All right, this is something that our ancestors and ancestors were using to support themselves.
Literally thousands of years ago.
Yes. Thank you, Jeannie.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. One thing you should always consider that children's skin is not the same as an adult skin because it's usually thinner and more sensitive. And although most doTERRA oils are non-irritating to the skin, it's still a good idea to dilute them in a good carrier oil before applying to children. And we could link, when we do post this, we can link the recommended ideal amounts, the ratios of how many drops to how many teaspoons of carrier oil. And actually there's a kids kit that has already diluted.
I know. And I will say this, that when we're done recording, I want you to know, and we just have one more conversation, one more slide, but that we'll stop recording and then we'll share. But I don't know, again, I'm never sure what's going to end up showing up, but here's the kids kit. It has 6 roll-ons, which are roller bottles, which are amazing for kids. And I would like to discuss that because it is really nice. I mean, we could have literally substituted every one of these in. But what I like about this is that it's really mostly, the protocols that we discussed here are mostly using the top 10 oils and then a handful of others that are added in to help to support other blends and stuff. But that kids collection is amazing. So I would like to just share that it's, I'll talk more about that when we're done and we can have a conversation once we're done recording. So with that, I'm going to move on. If you're finished, Christina?
I'm done.
Perfect. Okay. So you're probably asking yourself, if you're not a member yet, now what? If you are a member, we're here. And I want to remind everyone that is on here that we are available to you. Christina and I and our other team members, whoever invited you to this, to view this, that we are completely dedicated to helping to educate you on how to use oils safely and how you're going to make sure that you're using them in the safest way, that you feel supported and guided. We have something called Oil Camp. We do it every month or two. We did take some time off in the summer, but anyone that is a wholesale customer can plug into that. It's done through a Facebook event, and we absolutely love it. We interact with you every day for about 10 days. There's prizes. There's a lot of fun that goes on in there. And I will say, when you're done with those 10 days, it's amazing. It's really like you are really, really well educated in using, at the very least, the top 10 oils. But seriously, you're prepared for pretty much anything. So it
really is like a 10 to 15 minute commitment per day. It's not.
It's not like you're on Facebook on this Facebook event all day. You need to go in and check on it once a day and comment on a couple of posts, and that is all. So I want you to know that. But I'm sure, if you're anything like I was when I was first learning about oils, or if you're here as a refresher, you're excited about what you're learning. I know my life changed because of doTERRA essential oils, and I'm so confident that you're going to have the same experience when you start either having your own membership or, starting to use the ones you have, or integrating the new recipes that you learned today. So there's 3 ways to begin getting your own oils and using them. So you can purchase oils at a full retail price, which is really the most expensive way you can do it. And frankly, I would never recommend it because there's no reason to do it that way. Because there's no monthly requirement, you don't have to. You can pay a $35 membership fee, similar to like Costco or Sam's Club. And then you can purchase any oils at a wholesale price, which is 25% off of retail, which is also fine and totally awesome. Or you can purchase what we call a starter kit or enrollment kit. And with that, your membership fee is waived. So you're not paying the $35 separately, and your kit's oils are below wholesale pricing. So I personally always recommend option 2. I really, really prefer option 3 because I feel so strongly that every home should absolutely have the top 10 oils, all of which we discussed today at one point or another, but that, you know, if you're really, really adamantly against having a kit for some reason, or maybe you've been collecting oils a la carte through a friend or something, and you really know that you want something different, or you want the kids kit, which doesn't happen to be an enrollment kit right now, or a starter kit, you'd pay the $35 and then you'd buy that separately. So I like to refer people to option 3, which is buying a starter kit, but sometimes it's not the best option for everyone, in which case you're paying $35 and buying oils a la carte. If you're not sure of what option would most benefit you, please reach out to me or Christina or whoever invited you here. We're here to support you. I can't emphasize that enough. If you're in our closed Facebook group, you know it. If you're not in our closed Facebook group, please join it. Please reach out and let us know. We'll make sure you're in there. If you're not on Facebook, we're both on Instagram as Essentially Sure and Essentially Sure Christina. And by the way, I also have a website where I share some of my Instagram posts on the website. And I will soon have a members only section where people can log in and check that stuff out. So I just want to, with that, say I'm going to stop the recording, but I want to say thank you to everybody who took their time to join us tonight or to watch the recording. It's been our absolute pleasure to bring you this information, and we are going to be available to answer questions after we stop recording, but also after. If you're watching it as a replay, please look to the post that we share. We are going to share this recording in our group, and we are going to share all the recipes and other add-ons with that. So I'm going to